especially for those of you who really want to be a millionaire and you're not just talking. If you're just talking, then there's a club for that. They look great. They wear all the t-shirts that say that they're a boss and they're doing nothing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person behind you.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of WorkHARDAholics. Here's the thing, people. I know we come on every Wednesday at 1 and we make it seem like, life is so simple and so easy. That's not really the case. The deal is that to really persist means that you keep going, you keep trying, you keep doing, even in the midst of your obstacles. So while things are going cuckoo, and I'm trying to tell you, this week in particular for me has been cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. Yeah, there's a reason why I can do that sound effect so well. That is exactly what's been happening. But here is the deal. When it comes down to the end, my why is bigger than my what's happening, right? And so, as an entrepreneur, as a community leader, as a family member, as a person who desires to give more to the world than what I bring in, to give more than what I get out of it, that means that I have to continue on. We all have to persevere. And it doesn't mean easy. It doesn't mean simple. It doesn't mean just because, even when you get to the point that you're all billionaires and millionaires, it doesn't mean that life gets easier. It means that no matter what obstacles are coming your way, that as a true workaholic, you keep, okay, I have to break out in the song somewhere, right? So just bear with me. But keep on moving. Don't stop like the hand of time. You get the point. If you're not an En Vogue fan, that might not have touched your heart or your spirit, but you get the point. All right. I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it to me. Let's keep it moving. So once again, welcome to another episode of WorkHARDAholics. I am Shirley Crawford, your host, the original WorkHARDaholic. And why do I get to be the original? Because I made the word up. If you make up a word, you get to be the original as well. Here's what happens. Every Wednesday at 1 Eastern Standard Time, you may be watching it in the replay someplace else, and that's lovely. We're glad to have you whenever we have you. Here's the deal. We come together for some very specific reasons. As workaholics, you want to know what a workaholic is? Let me tell you. A workaholic is someone who is always doing something. We don't rest on our laurels. We don't wait for the world to bring it to us. We take it to the world. I'm not going to sing Taking to the Streets this week, people. I'm just going to contain myself. Here's the deal. As a workaholic, we're constantly having lists and things that we're planning to do and things that we're going to accomplish and get done. And you know what? Even on vacation, we might have a list. Like for me on vacation, it means, at 7, I want to go walk the beach because there's always a beach. And then maybe when I get back, I'm going to determine that I want to write for an hour on whatever new book that I want to be doing. There might be a video, something that I've been meaning to watch that I haven't seen. And then I tend to work on vacation. And it might not be my standard like women's business center stuff or even second chance stuff. It might be other things that I've wanted to do for my business that I just simply have not had time to bother with. And so for me, vacation is a great time to touch some of those things, and it makes me feel amazing. And I generally do that through lunch. And then when it's lunchtime, I break and I don't do any more work. I play, and I play hard. Like our theme says, work hard, play harder, business better. All right, so what we come together at 1 on Wednesdays, I always love alliteration, is that we try to make sure that as a workaholic, that you're doing your life in balance, right? So right now I'm a little imbalanced. I'm going to fix it, but at least I know the signs to know that there are things that need to be fixed. So we come together to help you learn a new vocabulary word to increase your communication skills. Maybe share a new book or resource or tool, things that'll help you be a better workaholic. And then at the end of the day, we make sure that you are working hard but playing harder. All right, so now, without further ado, let the games begin. I like sound effects. Okay, so First things first, it's Women's History Month. And so, for those of you who didn't know, which I would hope that you all knew, that it is indeed Women's History Month. And so here's the deal. I wanted to share. I was having some reflections, some flashbacks. The Women's Business Center, where I'm currently located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn, I am in the Imagine Media Lab, which is a media lab run by none other than Christina. That's Christina with a C. And so you might know her as an author, for her other businesses where she has like virtual assisting and some other things that she does. She's amazing in helping people get organized. She's working on me now. And she's also the proprietor of the Imagine Media Lab. If you like our commercial, which I think we're going to play, if you like it, I know you're going to love it. You've probably seen it. Christina did it. We just say, hey, we'd like XYZ. And she says, got it, and runs off and does it. She's amazing that way. You're probably going to really want to utilize her services. But I'm really have been reflecting on, so I pulled together a couple of pictures of some things that we have done in the past for Women's History Month. Women's History Month is the month of March, which is great, lovely, wonderful, amazing. But also, the Women's Business Center is done in collaboration with an organization called Collaboration. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses on women. And part of their motto is whether you be the CEO of a Fortune 500 or a CEO of your household, you matter. Your efforts work. Everything about you is still important. And so we support you, whichever those realms that you are, as a woman. So I had grabbed some pictures in honor of Women's History Month, and they are from previous events that we've done with Collaboration. So everything from, we used to host our events every year at the Bird Theater. They're under new management right now. We'll see if we'll be doing that in the future. And so we held our Women's First event. And the Women's First event means that we celebrate women who are the first. So we had one of the first Native American chieftains who was a female. She also, this is just a few. I mean, so we've had all kinds of people in all kinds of industries. So veterans, military, PTA moms, pastors, community leaders. So over the years, we've done it multiple times and we've celebrated all kinds of people. The last time around, you all might be a little familiar with LaShawanda Moore. We had her on, and we celebrated her. We've celebrated all kinds of individuals, and we're really, really, really proud of that. To be able to honor women, because here's the thing. Here's what happens in our communities, right? The same people get celebrated. The same people get recognized. The same people we know about. But there are so many other people who are doing amazing things who may or may not be celebrated. And we don't have a problem celebrating someone who's been celebrated before, but what a great time to stop and say, hey, here's a lady there's a lady in my neighborhood. She runs a neighborhood watch. She makes sure she got all the criminals out, and she did this, and she works with why shouldn't we honor her? So next year, when we're looking for nominations, please make sure that you send us yours. Send in the nomination for the woman in your life, and technically you can even self-nominate. Whatever the case may be, if you know someone who's making an impact, we want to know, we want to honor, we want to celebrate, and that's what we've done. So you'll see some of the women we've honored before, just some of them, it's not all. And then also, this past Monday was International Women's Day, and so March is Women's History Month here in the United States. And then on the 8th is International Women's Day, and we normally have an event for that as well. And this year we did not. And I felt really sad about that. So the pandemic has had its impact. But we're going to make sure that we're all making that impact locally, nationally, internationally, so that whether we stop to celebrate our International Women's Day or not, that the impact is there. So I need you all to work with me on that to make sure that we're all making that impact for those of us who are women. Men, we like you just fine. But right now we're talking to the ladies. And so whatever you're doing in life, there should be an impact. And so if you're living a life that all you're thinking about is you, then it's a life that's not going to lead very far, and it's not really going to bring you much joy, which is why we try to avoid that whole crab mentality where all we're doing is pulling down. Instead, we want to have that mentality to always be lifting up. All right? Just a thought for you all. Okay, so in that vein, once again, of Women's History Month and our Women's First, our word for the week is ab initio. Had anyone ever heard that word before? Ab initio. I will not lie. I hadn't heard it before myself. But I thought it was wholly appropriate. And so basically it's about just that. It's about being the first from the beginning, like to really be that thing that gets something else started. And so here's the deal, especially as Women's History Month, when we're looking back and we're looking at all these women who have accomplished things and are still accomplishing things. Like there are still firsts left in the world for you all. So don't think all of the first are gone. You can still be the first. Some of you were the first to, go to school in your family. Some of you all were the first to start a business. Some of you all were the first to have like 3 kids. Some of you all were the first in writing a book. Whatever that first is, be proud of it. Acknowledge it. Don't ever hide your light under a bushel, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to do your own marketing. Like a part of your brand is you. And if you don't like you, no one else will either. Okay, that's not necessarily true. Somebody might like you in spite of that. But it helps if you like you too. All right, so I want you all to be the ab initiators. I'm sure I'm making that up. But I want you all to be the ones who are commencing, who are starting, who are there ab initio from the beginning. So make it happen. And especially right now, if you see a pain point, you see something happening, you're just like, I'm not satisfied with this. I don't like the looks of this. It can be up to you to be the marker that makes that change. All right. You don't have to wait for someone else to make a change that you see necessary in your society, in your household, in your community, in your workplace. It can be you. You can be the one. And they can say, well, you remember ab initio, that organization that was developed was done by you. Me. Okay, so also with that in mind, as we're talking about things from the beginning, getting things started, doing things properly, getting your business up and running the way it ought to, it's a struggling time right now. Like there are so many adjustments that are happening. So we haven't seen the impact of the vaccine yet. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. People are sick. There are things that are happening. For entrepreneurs, doors have been closed. Some have been shuttered permanently. Some have found more efficient ways of doing business. And so there's a lot happening. So with that in mind, for those of you who are entrepreneurs who have been in business for a little while, at least I think February, the beginning of this year, there is a seminar coming up tomorrow. So I talked about it last week, but it got postponed. And the reason it got postponed is because the day before it was supposed to happen, the federal government made changes to the policies. And so it's been updated. And so on tomorrow, March 11th, 6 p.m., there'll be PPP Access Granted. That will be the seminar that will be happening tomorrow. That's Thursday, March 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. You can go online to register, but also you can come to the Women's Business Center at WBCRVA at our Facebook page, and we'll be streaming it live. So you can join the Zoom. You can register for the Zoom. There are a limited amount of spaces, but it's a decent number. But if you can't get in there, or if you just really want to see it Facebook Live, you can come to the WBCRVA Facebook page, and you'll still be able to ask questions. Your questions will still be answered if you're on the Facebook Live or if you're in the Zoom. Whichever way you choose to do it, I care not, but I suggest that you do it. And so the regulations, as I mentioned, have been altered. And so some things have been lessened. There has been a specific focus on minority, small, women, and veteran-owned businesses because it's been recognized. We've all recognized it, that a lot of the fat cats were getting the money because they had the relationship with the bankers, and some of them even gave it back. Like they realized that they didn't need it, but they applied for it because of an opportunity. Others kept it, and hey, that's for them to decide. The bottom line is a lot of our small, women, veteran, and minority-owned businesses missed out. And maybe you didn't have a good relationship with your banker to know how to go about doing this. You didn't know how to fill out the forms. You didn't know what paperwork was needed. You had a lot of questions, and you didn't have an Uncle Bob who was the banker. Uncle Bob the banker. I think I'm going to keep that. So you didn't have that. So you didn't know who to ask the questions of. Well, here is your opportunity. right? The Women's Business Center is partnering with the SBA, with the MBL, with Fulton Bank, who is giving all the information. So thank you very much, Fulton Bank. And to all the sponsors, the Women's Business Center at ODU, there's a veterans organization. There are several groups that are helping to sponsor this event, all partnering to make it happen. And it's free, Free, gratis. So there's no excuse. For those of you who are like, oh, I didn't get the money. Well, if you tell me you didn't get it and you didn't attend the seminar, then I'm going to say you didn't want it. Period. The end. All right. But if you know that almost every business needs something, right? So even if it's just a little cash flow to get you going, to help you with rent, with whatever else, whatever your needs may be, and they're going to talk about how it can be forgivable. So we want you to get the money, right? Show you the money. Okay, we're going to show you how to get it. All right. So join us tomorrow. That's Thursday, March 11th. If you're watching this in the replay and it's past that date, we're sorry. You can still go back to the Facebook page and the live will remain there so you can see it in a replay. Because even though you haven't missed the deadline, the PPP applications are still open, so feel free to go do that. But once again, you can either register to see it on Zoom, or you can just join us on the WBC RVA Facebook Live and see everything that's happening and still ask your questions. Alrighty then. Okay, and on that note of resources, tools, information, right? Because our core audience here for WorkHARDaholics are entrepreneurs, right? So we want you to have the tools that you need to be successful. And I don't know how many of you all have seen this. Are you all familiar with this? This is part of our Book It moment. It's not really a standard book. It's really, it's a magazine style. It's a magazine style document, right? It's the SBA resource guide, and they have a Virginia edition. It comes out every year, and if you want one, you can come by the office. We always get these here, but they're also available online. You can get a PDF of it. And so here's the deal. This is something that I normally pull out whenever I'm having a client consultation, because it's tons of information about resources and answers to your questions for doing business when you're in the state of Virginia, right? So just to highlight a few, like people always ask me about getting trademarks and copyrights, and they don't know where to start. There's a whole piece right here and that talks all about it. And so it tells you that basic information about intellectual property, patents, trademarks, copyrights, tells you what they are, tells you how to register them. And the thing that I appreciated the most is that once they tell you like the 3 different types of patents, gives you a little more information about the different types of trademarks and how you use them and where you go register. So this is where I always take people, which is the USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And especially when you're looking for, like when someone's like, oh, I think I want to trademark something, I always go look it up to see if it's already been done, if it's available. And they mentioned something that I think is extremely important, because what happens is, just like with your licensure, you can register in your state. So for we have an LLC. So our LLC is registered at State Corporation Commission of Virginia, but that's not federal. Technically for your business, you have to register in each state that you are physically doing business. So that's how that works. So with that in mind, unfortunately, there isn't a federal registration. It's fortunate and unfortunate, right? There's not a federal registration because the federal government allows each state to operate individually as to how they deal with business and laws and everything else. So that means if I have a physical location here in Virginia, which I do, and I'm looking to have a physical location in Texas, which I think I am, then I have to also register in Texas and in Virginia. The same thing for your trademarks. Actually, it's a little bit better for your trademarks for your intellectual property. You can register with each state, which is a lot cheaper, and it's really straightforward, or you can register with the USPTO, which is the federal government. Now, if you registered in Virginia and someone else registered with the federal government trumps state. So just FYI. So if we wanted to debate with someone else because they had a similar name, and there is someone who has a similar name, then if I register with the state, it doesn't outrank if I register with federal. So that kind of a thing. So that's one of the things that you can learn about in here. They also have a list of opportunities and chambers and like workshops for Native Americans, like specifically for your business, opportunities for veterans, right? And so they talk about active duty and and they also talk about the thing that I think is the most important, and this is, I think vital to every business, funding opportunities, right? So this is a great guide. If you'd like a physical copy, like I said, you can come by the office. We have them here. They're everywhere around here. And they talk about SBA loans, SBA back loans. So when I thought about our book it moment, I was really thinking about the fact that most businesses right now need money, right? And so there's lots you can do for free, but right now with your doors closing and everything else happening, money. So there are grants and other things that are out there, and I'm actually thinking about compiling a list of grants or grant opportunities. And so we'll see. If you all really want that, let me know, because that's going to take a little bit of effort. So if you want it, let me know and we'll provide that resource. So that's our book it moment, right? And so normally right now, we do like to give a shout out to, local business owners, others who are out there doing it, right? And so we always want to start with, of course, our favorite, the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, directly across street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. If you're looking to start, sustain, and succeed in business, this is the place for you. If you are in business and you're just if you're looking to start a business and you don't know what your next steps will be, we offer a free consultation. You can schedule that. Come on in for that free consultation one time only. You can get a free consultation. And that's if you have a business idea, you're trying to figure out where to go next. Or maybe you've been in business a lot longer and you're looking to pivot. Like maybe you're trying to figure out, how do I go digital? Or I'm thinking about expanding. Or maybe I want to add in these services. Does that make sense? And you want to have a conversation with someone to determine, hey, is this a good idea? Then you can use that free consultation for that as well. We want to shout out the Imagine Media Lab. Imagine yourself here. Fabulous services that are done here. Once again, if you look and see our commercial, it's lovely. It was done by Imagine Media Lab. Our podcast is hosted here. Lots of podcasts are hosted here. You can actually come in and rent the studio itself if you just want to use it. You have the technical skill, but you don't have the equipment because, quite frankly, the stuff in this room is quite pricey. Yeah. So if you want to come in and use that, you can rent it that way. Or if you want to rent it with the technician, you can come in and schedule that. We also want to give a shout out to, I have to give a special shout out to Rita Ricks, Speaking to Your Spirit. She is a spiritual coach, a business coach. She really helps you get unstuck, right? And so she has a promo. I can't tell you about it yet because she hasn't announced it yet, but she has a Mother's Day promo. And I'm showing you a piece of it because I see her, I get a little special treatment. This is the beauty of life here at the Women's Business Center. And so, in case you all don't know, this is a CD from Marcus Johnson, whom I love Marcus Johnson, an amazing jazz artist. And so, and it's signed. Okay. And if you want one too, keep paying attention to Rita Ricks. She's going to have a Mother's Day special coming up soon. And so for those of you who are going, I don't know what to give my mother, she has the perfect package. So once it comes out, we might share it and announce it too. But in the meantime, you can be totally jealous that I have my CD and that you don't at this present time. Yay! Thank you. As always, each week we like to give a shout out to the Abundant Life Church of Christ, one of our greatest and best fans and supporters. Greatly appreciate you all. Also, LMBT, that's Legacy Managed by Ty. If you are looking for a realtor or if you have property that you want to have managed, especially during this time period because people are at home, and Ty has a whole series that she's been showing on Fridays about different things that are happening when it comes to rental properties. And so you want to be a landlord and all kinds of other information, you'll want to check it out. All right, so that's all we're sharing for now. But if you're a small business owner and you'd like for us to highlight you, drop your information into one of our feeds and we'll be sure to check you out. Alrighty then. So, I've been very excited in general. Well, one, because I really think a lot about, with Women's History Month, I think a lot about the fact that I have been given so much And so I feel like whining is just not allowed. So like even on days like today where I really wanted to pull my hair out, I'm like, whining is not allowed. My challenges are nothing compared to those who came before me. And so I want to make sure that I maximize my time, my worth, my value, and the two have different meanings. That I want to make sure that I'm maximizing like what I engage in, who I'm engaging with, like what I do, I want it to have value. So with that in mind, our time tool technique for this week is all about time management. Right? How can you better use the time that you have to get the magic happening in your life? Right? There are very few excuses because when you the whole thing about being a workaholic is people look at me and they're like, I can't believe that you wrote that book, that you did that interview. I have an interview coming up now that I think about it. That you did this, that you started this, that you have it. How are you able to do it all? And then I still see pictures of you at this festival and at this event. And oh my God, you were at the beach, where I'm also going very soon. Thank you, Lord, for the amazing weather that is apparently not going to last to the weekend. So if I were you, especially as an entrepreneur, Friday seems like a great day to not be working. I won't be, but then again, I don't on Fridays. Just saying. Okay, so but if you're so confounded by all the things you have going on and you can't take that break, let me give you some tips. Things you can do for time tool technique, your time management, so that you can have more time to do the things you so desire, you really want to do, that make life a little bit more amazing. All right, write down what you need to do today. So write down what you need to do for today. Here's the thing. Christina and a K with a K. We were talking about this last week. Are you one of those people who has everything in your head? Because if you do, it's so easy for it to fall off, for you to forget, for it not to have priority, for someone else's fire to become your priority. It happens very easily when you don't write down what you need to do. Like, I love a good checklist. Right now, I'm trying to finesse it. Like Christina with a C and I were having a conversation earlier about which platform to digitize for us to be able to have a shared calendar that we want to have and some other information, because we need more than just calendars and dates. We have some specific things we need done with that. But that's the beauty of writing it down. If you need to put it into your Todoist, which is still what I like to use, if it's Keep, as Christina was sharing with me earlier today, if it's Notion, if you're like Christina with a C, whatever it may be, you need to like plot, plan, and plunder. All right? That's my motto. I'll say it again. Plot, plan, and plunder. All right. So when you're plotting, you're thinking about in general things that you want to accomplish. When you're planning, you're actually laying it out to say, this is how I'm going to do it from A to Z. And when you plunder, you kill it, you destroy it. You see that goal, you accomplish it. It's done. Like, it's an old term. I think I'm going to make a shirt that says that. I think I like that a lot. Plot, plan, and plunder. Right. Okay. Then you're going to work on the important things first. So here's the deal. Every day, stuff changes. People come, people go. Someone's ringing your phone. Someone's calling. Someone's pinging you. Someone's, trying to get you on a Zoom call. Someone's at your door. There's always something happening. So there's no guarantee that you're going to have that full 8-hour workday. There are no guarantees, period. So if you can take care of the most important thing first, knock it off your list. Do you know how that great sense of accomplishment that you can have just with that one thing of, knocking it off your list? All right, something to consider. Okay. Also, if you know that when you're plotting out your calendar, you're plotting out your day. I've mentioned to you all before the Pomodoro Technique. If you don't recall, go back and watch those old episodes. It's in there. The Pomodoro Technique is an amazing way for you to deal with your time management. Right? So you're going to make sure that the tasks that are the most important, that you have blocked time for them. Right? You try to get the urgent stuff done quickly, but when you're trying to say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do today. And you all have heard me say before, I always try to focus on 3 to 5 things and not go more than that. Because if I say that I'm going to do more than that, I get to feel like I didn't do anything. So I could have done 4 things and I feel like, oh my God, but I had a list of 10 and you were never going to do the 10 anyway. Take the stress off of yourself. Relax that. Okay? So, but when you're making the list, make a note of what's important. Like, this is a priority. This is a nice to do, but not so much of a priority. That also will give you some leeway, some freedom in how you're scheduling things, right? But you also want to make sure you schedule. On my watch goes off at 3:00 every day, and it says, take your iron pill and go for a walk. 3:00 every day. Every blue moon, I might ignore it, but I try to, at least, if nothing else, I try to get up. And like in our building, the bathroom is like 12 million miles away. So I walk the 12 miles down the very long hallway beyond the very pretty art walk, and I will walk to the restroom, whether I have used it or not. It's just a nice walk, and I'll walk back. I will at least do that. Most of the time at 3:00, I prefer, and now that spring has almost sprung, it's beautiful. I like to actually get up and I walk across the street. Like, we're directly across the street from Kroger. I will walk over to Kroger or to the dollar store or wherever and walk back. And it's like a little over 2,000 steps, which is amazing. And I've started taking the stairs here. So add the breaks in as well. So be aware, be conscientious, be intentional about giving yourself a break. All right. And then proper stress management. Yeah. So here is the piece where I kind of like look back and forth with myself, because I am not, I tell you all, this is not just, I'm telling you what you need to do. I'm sharing with you from the experience of I am right here where you are, wholeheartedly. I know exactly what you're going through. Maybe not exactly, but close enough. As an entrepreneur, there's a lot happening. I'm with you. And so stress is a very real thing. But it has physical manifestations on your body, and we don't want that for you. Like, I love my gray, but I don't want any from stress. It's genetic in my family. I don't want any from stress. Although I fear, as I've said before, that some of you all might have aided in stressing me out and adding to my gray. But we try not for that not to be the case. So how do you deal with stress? Like, I can tell you right now, for me, I have tension in the back of my shoulder, right? It wasn't there yesterday, it's there today. And so that's another sign. Your body is talking to you. That's another sign for me that I'm starting to build up some tension. I'm starting to build up some stress, and I need to release it and deal with it. Now, this is not the first sign, right? As I told you all before, for me, I have noticed in my tone, I am more short-tempered. I am not as patient. I am still pleasant and polite, but I am not the same, and I know it. And also, sometimes I can actually feel this sense of overwhelm. Like, Christina, I had a meeting earlier, and I was like, stop, I can't take any more information. Just hold that off. I cannot. And so, but the difference is between you and me probably is that I recognize it, and so I know that this Friday, if nothing else, I am taking some quality me time. Like, I'm going to have some solace, some quiet, and it's beautiful. You already know where I'm going, and I don't have to even say it out loud. But for you, what are you doing? What are you doing to manage your stress? Managing stress is not bottling up all day long and smiling at everyone you work with and then going home and yelling at your family or kicking the cat. That is not managing the stress, right? So I need you all to determine what are the ways that you deal with it and do so. If you need counseling, we know some wonderful ones. As a matter of fact, Kaya Counseling, right here in the Women's Business Center, right? It's nothing wrong. If you need to talk to someone, then talk to someone, right? Right? Of course. Okay. Proper team management. You are not in this alone. And so I know as an entrepreneur, that's your baby. It's like when you see a new parent, male or female, they don't want anyone to hold their baby. They don't want anyone to anything. They refuse to have a babysitter. Like, they're all in it like it's just them. But then they get to the second kid and they're just like, oh yeah, here, take them for the weekend, right? And so that's partial of team management. I know that your business feels like your baby and you're the only one who can do this right. And while it may be that you're the only one who does it that way, you're not the only one who knows how to be effective or impactful. There are other people you can train in your way, and they can help to do the work. And that way you actually have a much more productive system. And it's a lot less stressful. So see how you're solving a bunch of things all at the same time. And then you want to make sure you have a way of tracking progress of your teammates, right? And just in general, like one of the things that I said before, like I was working with Christina with the C, and this is the thing for me right now is that I'm looking to create a new system so that we can know who's doing what. And we're not just talking basic project management. So we're really talking this overarching thing of here's where all the social media is. This is where this is. Here are our themes. This is what's coming on when. This is who's doing what. This is what's on our list. Like that's what we're working on. But what do you need to track your progress? To figure out, like, is it a person, a place, or a thing that's slowing down your progress? Right? If you're tracking it, you can figure that out. You can know that every time you put work on Bob's desk, that there's a month delay. And it doesn't mean that then you can look to Bob and say, okay, Bob, what's going on? Do you have too much on your plate? Is this totally out of your skill set? Are you just a slacker? What's going on? So that actually helps you figure out other things in your business as well. All right, so those are just some of those time tool techniques for this week. And the bottom line is that, because if you want to be the one who is literally ab initio, right? If you want to be the one who's ab initio for the next project, the next big thing, the next event, the next podcast, gotta love them. If you want to be the next WorkHARDaholics, then those are things that you have to get done. And I should be asking Christina, we haven't shared anything from our sponsors today. And so, would you like to see that happen? I'm talking to Christina with a C, but she. Okay, so we're actually going to take a moment, because as we talk about ab initio, there are all these people out here who make this, who were there, ab initio, for the WorkHARDaholics. So right now, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors. Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA. When you're ready for more than just office space, come join the WBCRVA family. Alrighty then. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors who make WorkHARDaholics possible. I didn't sing our theme song today, and I must, because I must. And so, for those of you who are wondering, what does it mean? It's the movers and the shakers always doing something. If you want to be in balance and get some more green, WorkHARDaholics. I know there's more, but I never sing the rest of that. Just sharing. And so, once again, since you've been with us, if you've been with us from the beginning today, we have talked about the fact that it is Women's History Month. Our word for the week is ab initio. We highlighted for you all that coming up tomorrow, Thursday, March 11th at 6 p.m., there is a seminar presented by Folsom Bank in conjunction and sponsored by the Women's Business Center, the SBA, the MBL, the Women's Business Center of ODU, some other organizations, the City of Hampton Roads, etc., City of Richmond, all sponsors for this event tomorrow, and you all really want to catch it. It's called PPP Access Granted. So for those of you who, hey, need to get money into your business, here's your chance. All right, you can register. There's a link that you can go to our page to see, or if you don't want to register by Zoom, then you can log in on Facebook Live at WBCRVA, and you can see the event live, and your questions will still be answered. So you can log in and type in your questions, and they'll be shared with the presenters, and they will answer your questions. Our book it moment was we shared the SBA resource guide for Virginia, extremely helpful. We talked about your time tool technique and some of the ways that you can get your time back. All right, and so now there are a couple of things I want to highlight for you all, but I'm going to catch those at the end, because right now I want to go to our work hard, play harder moment. And here's the question that I'm asking each of you. All right, what do you need in this moment? I pause to ask you the question, but really, I want you to think about it. Like, what do you need? What do you need right now? Me, I need a vacation, and I'm plotting and planning it, and I'm gonna plunder it very soon. But what do you need? Do you need someone to talk to you? Do you need a business development coordinator for your office? What do you need? Do you need quality time? What do you need? Right? Do you need a spa day? Do you need a golf outing? What do you need? And the thing is, whatever it is that you need, it's okay. Like, we spend a lot of time apologizing for like our needs, our wants, our desires, and we don't have to. It's okay for you to be selfish. It's okay for you to have a need all your own. It's totally okay. As a workaholic, it's totally okay. It's okay if you need a moment where you're actually doing no work. Right? It's okay if you need people around you. It's okay if you want to be alone. What is it that you need? And if you can't be honest with you, then you definitely can't be honest with anyone else. I need to be healthy. So that's actually one of my quantifiable goals that I'm working on. And so far, I've actually lost 9 pounds. So I started working on it for the month of March, right? I always talk about quantifiable goals, people. Like, I know I have a goal. I'm not telling you all, but I got a goal. And I'm working on it. And then I figure out what do I need to do and how do I need to get that set. And I have a whole calendar and a whole schedule about how I'm going to do it. And so I started March 1. And yeah, I've lost 9 pounds so far. So I'm very proud of that. Job well done, Shirley Crawford. Why, thank you very much. Right? And so I need to get healthy. So that's one of my goals. And weight is one of the measurements I'm using for my health, but it's not the only one. Right? So when we talk about quantifiable goals, it's not always this obvious, like I need to lose this many pounds. That's not always what it's about. My health is, when this is all said and done, I'm going to be able to run a half marathon. That's a measurement that I'm using so that I can be aware of like what's going on with me. Right? So that's the weight piece. Other than that, I need peace of mind. So that's why I'm going to be soon on a vacation. You all probably won't know the difference because we'll probably go live from wherever I am. But for those in the office, they're going to notice because I am going to take a whole week and I'm not going to respond to any emails. Do I mean that? Well, for the most part, I might read them, but I'm not responding. And then I'm going to have a week. So I'm taking 2 weeks. I'm going to take a solid week of radio silence. And then a week I'm going to have office hours. But either way, I will not be coming into the office. That's what I need. Well, what do you need? Right? What do you need? Figure that out and be okay with it. I don't know why we have to have this feeling like, oh, I have to pretend to be Superwoman. I gotta be Superman. I can show no flaws. I can show no weakness because then everyone else will crush me. No. Then everyone else can support you, or at least your support group can. But if you can't tell people what you need, then they don't know how to provide. Like I have a couple of friends of mine right now who I just really want to be able to do something for them, but I don't always know, like, what do they want? How can I support them? Let people know. It's okay. We really are all in this together. There's a lot happening. No one's denying it, and we don't need to pretend otherwise. But what do you need? And if you don't know, how do you expect someone else to know? I'm just saying. Okay. Well, if what you need is to do business with the state of Virginia, I have some tips for you. Did you like that transition? Did y'all feel that flow? Okay, here's the deal. Randy Brown, who is the local coordinator for the SBSD, he is now opening up back again for one-on-one consultations, right? And so here's the deal. He has shared his schedule, and it hasn't even been posted yet. But I'm going to share a little bit so that you all will know that that's available. Okay. We're going to harass Christina in just a minute. Christina with a K, but let me go ahead and give you some information about that. And Christina will let us know in a little bit if anything else that's coming up. or if anyone else that we might have missed, or our hashtag. She'll let us know all that in just a sec. So for Randy Brown, he's doing one-on-one consultations, and this is if you are trying to do business with the state. And I'm always telling you all that the state is the way to, oh, not the way, but if you want to know that the money that you're going to eventually get paid, the state will at least pay you at some point in time. Can't guarantee if that's 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, but it's there. And the state needs everything from toothbrushes to horse feed to consultants to pencils, whatever you can think of, somewhere in the state they need it. And so you need to get registered with EVA in order to do business with the state. And Randy can help you do that. He has openings that are starting April 2nd, April 13th, April 14th, April 15th, April 16th, April 21st, April 23rd, April 29th, and April 30th. And unlike before, he did them at location. So he came to the center, he went to other places. These are all virtual. So you're going to want to jump on as soon as possible. If you want an appointment time, and they're throughout, he has 4 slots each day because each one is an hour and 15 minutes. So he has 4 slots on each of the days that I mentioned. You can email him at Randy, RANDY, .brown, the color, BROWN, at SBSD, as in Small Business Supply Diversity, .virginia.gov. So you can email him at randy.brown at sbsd.virginia.gov to book one of those one-on-ones. And if you're looking to find out who's buying what you're selling, then you'll want to come in for those. You want to know who your competitors, you want to know who are the buyers. That's my favorite part. You can find out who's buying and their contact information, and you can reach out to them. You can't do that anyplace else. All right, so let's check in with Christina with a K.
But yeah, so today the hashtag it is tell people what you need. I heard you say that. How will someone know what you need unless you tell them, right? And that's a phrase that I hear very often in networking groups, right? When we're all going around sharing who we are, what we do, we also tell each other what we need, so that the other individual in the networking group can help you. As far as businesses that I'd like to shout out the Imagine Media Lab with Christina Clark. So if you need a promo video, if you need assistance with editing your videos, make sure that you talk to her, okay? And they are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Instagram, I believe, okay? Second Chance Consulting with Shirley Crawford. So if you are in need of business consulting, if you are a newbie, and even if you're seasoned, everybody needs help, right? So make sure that you check her out at the Women's Business Center, RVA. I'd like to shout out Deborah Severin. She is a coach for millennials that are looking to better themselves in the corporate world. So if you lack confidence, if you lack specific training to get you the promotion that you need, she walks you through that. She helps you be able to ask for, the pay that you feel that you deserve and all of that. She can assist you with that. And I think legacy management managed by Ty. So Ty is a realtor, and she's also a property manager here in RVA. So if you're looking to buy a home, if you have property, but you need someone to manage that property for you, make sure that you look her up. She's also at the Women's Business Center. And I believe that's it.
Okay. I think that was a pretty solid list, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
All right, people. Well, we are close coming to our end. And so here's the thing. Just, you know how I love a good recap. For those of you who aren't aware, and maybe this was your first time, like, wow, welcome to WorkHARDAholics. And so here's the deal. Wednesdays at 1 p.m., we come together to make sure that as WorkHARDAholics, we have the tools that we need in order to be successful as WorkHARDAholics. That means we accept that it's okay to want to work on a Saturday. It is okay. I often work Saturdays, but I don't work on Fridays. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You are in control of how you manage your time. It's Women's History Month. We want to say once again, congratulations, if you can say that. Let's just say we celebrate and honor all women. That's the correct thing. I want to say a special thank you, I almost forgot, to the Sisters Keepers Ministry of Abundant Life Church of Christ, who honored myself and several other ladies for our contributions in the arts and business and various science and various fields. So I was very honored to be celebrated along with those women. Thank you all very much. I have this lovely bouquet of flowers on my desk right now. That's where they came from. We shared our word for the week, which is amnesio. Gotta love a good word. And that just means from the beginning. So instead of in the beginning, in a world, you can start saying ab initio. Just a thought. It might not catch on as well. We highlighted the fact that tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is the PPP Access Granted seminar. You can register online to participate in the Zoom call, or you can log into the Facebook Live for WBC RVA, which is the Women's Business Center RVA, and see the live there. And you'll also be able to ask your questions. Questions and asked in the chat of the Facebook Live will be shared with the presenter in real time. Our Book It moment was our small business resource guide from the SBA Virginia edition, and we shared a bunch of the highlights there of things that you can learn. For our time tool technique, we went over a lot of different things that you all can be doing to use your time more wisely, to get the most out of your time, to maximize your time. And then for our Work Hard, Play Harder moment here at WorkHARDaholics, we asked you the question which sounds so simple, but we really want you to think about it. What do you need in this moment? And we really ask that you all be honest with yourselves about what that means and what that includes. So at this point, I'm sharing with you all the ways you can reach me here. I think Christina shared all of her pieces. But I am at Shirley E. Crawford. The center is at WBCRVA, and everything WorkHARDaholic is at WorkHARDaholics. Oh, no S. I always don't put an S on. You won't find it. At WorkHARDaholic. Alrighty then. And so, as always, appreciate your support, appreciate your time. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, repeat, like, share, subscribe, repeat, like, share, subscribe, repeat. Yeah. I haven't said that in a while. I know you've missed it. Sorry to have denied you. To bring that on back. Also, once again, if you're looking to do business with the state of Virginia, do not forget to email Randy Brown, randy.brown I'm not looking at it anymore. So, what I told you earlier is for his email address. Make sure you drop him a line. randy.brown@sbsd.virginia.gov. See, there it is. There's the power of the mind. Please drop him a line if you're looking to get that one-on-one consultation. Randy is amazing. Every region has their own representation. Randy Brown is ours. If you're Northern Virginia, it's Courtney Mustin. I forget who is South. But there's representation you can, and the fact that they provide that one-on-one consultation is amazing. Please be sure that behooves you to go ahead and find out and connect and get that information and resource. All right, and I want to say one more time that tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, PPP Access Granted. And also there are other grants and things that are out there, but here is a loan that can be forgivable. Come learn how, learn the inside information from the presenters at Fulton Bank. And so we're really looking forward to that. Alrighty. So once again, thank you, Christina with a C, for producing us in your fine way. Thank you, Christina with a K, Socialita Christina, for, being yourself. And, thank you, Shirley. You're so amazing. If you don't pat yourself on the back, who will?
Who will?
Just saying. All right, people. As we always like to say, we love it when you work hard, play harder, and business better, but also, please, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneur. Ta-ta!
Let Socialita help your business stand out from the crowd by building your brand success through social media management. We're located at 1510 Woollalon Drive, Suite 100. Our website is www.socialitarva.com. You can also give us a call at 484-2001. Again, Socialita.
Imagine Media Lab, in partnership with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing. Record that podcast you've always wanted to start. Voiceovers and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100. ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.